evening, welcome to Rivalz Race Chat. Clinton Geoffrey here, as I am every week. Adam hasn't been here for 2 weeks now. He's the reason we're late here today, and he's still hung up at a work thing. So Spencer and I took a vote, and we just voted him off the island. So have fun, Adam, wherever you're going to be. No, I'm just kidding. I can't get rid of him that soon. He should be joining us shortly. He's once in a while has his day job to deal with, so that's why we're on 9 o'clock tonight. Show 254. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out. If you got anything you want to talk about, we'd love to hear from you. We're going to talk to Ryan Dyson, Superstock standout from Delaware and out on the Dayco Superstock Tour. So we'll talk to Ryan Dyson about what he's got coming up. Just talk about the state of Superstocks, where they are on the pavement side of things here in Canada. And, of course, we'll have Doug Leonard joining us a bit later. Doug's getting ready to venture on the road for his second year as the World of Outlaw race director and talk about some of the other stuff that's gone on with Doug these days. And I got my camera glitching a little bit. Hopefully it holds on here, Spencer, for us until we can get one of these guys on the line. First thing we want to talk about, though, crazy news. One of our sponsors. Every week we do the Burger Barn video of the week. I'm sure if you're in this world or in this realm watching us, you understand that there's big issues at the Burger Barn over the weekend. It was shot up first off on Saturday night, I think, and then Sunday. It looked like they arsoned it and burned it down. So some serious issues at Burger Barn. I was by there today, and I can tell you it's pretty much half demolished already. So, yeah, there's the Burger Barn. So it won't be open for quite some time as they figure what they're going to do. I'm assuming they're going to rebuild. I mean, it's crazy to think that they wouldn't. And, yeah, so our heart goes out to Jay and Celeste, all their staff, obviously. It's a big loss in the community. You know, first off, the food was fantastic. Portions were great. Service was amazing. That goes without saying. We were pushing the Burger Barn here all the time. But our heart goes out to the family, Jay, Celeste, of course, the rest of their family. The staff, a lot of staff are going to be without jobs now until they get this sorted out in whatever situation comes, whether it be the rebuild or however long that takes. So our heart goes out to everybody. Of course, it's a huge draw in Six Nations. One of the anchor pieces that bring people out to the community. And I think as we move around the community a lot, we hear a lot of people say that, you know, it's the Speedway and Burger Barn are the ones that get it together. But if you know Jason Hill, know what he's about, I wouldn't be surprised if they've already got a plan to start the rebuild right away. And I'm hoping by the time we get to Outlaw Weekend, everybody's back at the Burger Barn. So thoughts and prayers go out to Jay and Celeste and their family, all their staff, all their customers. Of course, their other two businesses right beside Petra Plus Travel Stop is still open, so go by and see that. And a good time to really support them now as they need our help a little bit more than ever. Whew. A couple other things. Let's show the other screenshot, Spencer. I'm losing my train of thought here. The World of Outlaws, and I don't know how much Doug can really talk about this, so we'll bring it up now before we get into it with Doug. World of Outlaws sent this gambling policy out to all their personnel. So we'll find out from Doug what he was told, what we know about that, but that only leads us to believe that wagering will be coming down the line here with the World of Outlaws, World Racing Group, and possibly Dirt Car sanctioning body. So I'm excited to see where we will end up with that and how that will all come about, because anytime you can get into that, it opens up potential for more income into the deal. Also brings up a lot of comments. Everybody feels that it could screw things up for the go round here. Am I glitching right out, Spencer? All right. Let's roll through a couple Burger Barn videos of the week to get things rolling here. And Spencer, let's roll them off the top. I'll get reset here, and we'll honor Burger Barn with our Burger Barn videos of the week to kick the show off.
This is Dan. He's an amateur driver tackling the circuit, and he's got a coach guiding him through every corner. But the coach isn't human, it's AI.
You braked around 15 meters too late for that last corner. Make sure to brake earlier next lap.
The voice in Dan's ear is actually Trophy.ai, an AI driver coach giving real-time feedback that's specifically for his driving style. So I tried out this technology in a simulator and on a real track to see if it's likely to train the Formula One champions of the future. The AI needs a little bit of time to analyze your driving style before it starts offering advice. But even after just one lap, the coaching begins.
Try staying in fourth gear at the apex to carry more speed through this right-hander.
Honestly, it's incredible. So much so that I forgot that it was AI. It felt like a normal driver coach. Now it's time to try the AI on a real race circuit. This is Dan, who you met at the start of this video. Dan's quick in the sim, but hasn't spent much time on a real racetrack. And he's never driven anything as quick as this Porsche. I put in about 20 consistent laps to give the AI enough data to analyze. With that done, the AI was trained and ready to help Dan improve. So Dan headed out onto the circuit, armed with real-time coaching from the AI.
For Redgate, try to get on the throttle about 10 meters earlier to carry more exit speed.
Right, so let's try just a bit more throttle on corner exit for Redgate. Nice and late. Trail off, get into the apex. Full throttle. Whoa, okay, a bit too much.
You're trail braking too much and overslowing the car into coppice. Try to release the brakes a bit faster.
So that is amazing. Like, it's crazy how far AI has come now, that it can learn the track in one lap, start giving you quality advice, and make you better. It's amazing what AI is going to do for this. And I mean, I think we started playing with it in just like a word processing style last year. I remember talking to last week's guest Todd Lewis about it and showing him how easy it is to write press releases and stuff. And it's crazy how quick AI is starting to take over and how smart the stuff is. It's crazy. I see Ryan Dyson joining us. Let's get him on. Jump right into the fire. Not even time to warm up your camera, Ryan, but welcome to the show. Thanks for joining me today. How's it going, bud?
Not too bad. Thanks for having me. It's been a little while.
Yeah, it has been. Let's talk about your situation. Superstock again this year. Is that the plan? Going to go forward again? And you kind of grew this thing from a little truck team that you had originally messing around on Fridays with your brother and the boys, and now you've grown into a professional race team where you're actually, running NASCAR races when you can and doing stuff like that. I know that's not the prime focus, but a dream come true. Where do you sit for 2025?
The plan as of now, unless some things change, is to run for a championship at Delaware Speedway full time and to run the Dayco Series across the province full time again. And might have a few more things in the works. Maybe you should follow our pages to find out soon.
Let's talk about that. You are one of the teams out there that puts the social media effort in more than a lot of the other guys with your YouTube channel and other things. Tell us about what's going on in that realm and where we can find you.
Yeah, if you check out jrdmotorsports.ca, we got everything on there. We actually just launched a new website last month, so it's got everything on there, and you can get access to all of our social media channels from there, including our YouTube channel, which is sort of our pride and joy with our YouTube vlog series. That's it's growing. It's growing steady, but I mean, you'd always wish it would grow a little faster. But we're approaching 1,600 followers, and now that we're kind of into the monetization category of YouTube, it's definitely growing a little bit faster. But the goal is to kind of be that Hunt the Front, Land and Huffman kind of size one day, and I don't think it's unfeasible, and that's sort of the direction that we're hoping to go.
Now, a lot of folks are just putting out YouTube videos. Great way to reach your fans. Great way to get your marketing partners out there. I mean, hell, we're on YouTube every week too, so it's easy to get out there. When you speak about monetization, maybe you can explain what that means for people who maybe not know that you can try and set up a business here through YouTube.
Yeah, so with YouTube's partner program, you kind of have to get to a certain amount of views and watch hours and subscribers to be able to what they call monetize. And there's two different tiers of monetization. So we're now at the first tier where we're able to offer subscription plans to our fans and such for exclusive content. Then once we get a little bit further down the road, we'll be able to monetize with ads and stuff, and that's sort of the ultimate goal, and that's what everyone wants to aim to get to on YouTube. You got people like Cletus McFarland who have been able to purchase entire racetracks, and I saw you just bought a drag strip last week, so that's all YouTube money. And I mean, it's not necessarily just the money for us. It is a way for us to support our partners and at the very least just show race fans and people who want to watch our journey through the ranks and stuff a bit about our race team. And there's never enough you can do for your marketing partners and the people that help support your operations. So that's sort of the method behind it, and everything else that happens will happen the way it's supposed to.
Let's talk about the Superstock series and where it's headed. Dayco back again. I mean, that series kind of came on strong a couple years ago. It's been doing fairly well. I saw a Facebook post a few weeks ago that said, we're going to have all these series and it'll be great. Obviously, a bit of sarcasm there. What is the situation there with the super stocks?
Well, sure some people got me mad at me, but I like to speak my mind. It's a free world, right? But
shoot,
that Dayco series was created to get rid of all these invitationals at tracks because there's just not enough cars in racing in general. I mean, you come from the dirt world, so you're going to disagree with me, but we'll say in asphalt racing, there's not enough cars and enough, opportunities for that to happen, to have those invitationals. So it's similar to what the APC series was about 10 years ago, right? So get rid of the invitationals and kind of, if people want to tour a little bit, that's what the focus is on. And then it was supposed to stop tracks from walking all over each other's feet and stuff. And then here we are. Every track's got a home track series, which is the way it should be. And the Dayco series is still operating. And now we're getting back to, I want an invitational. So my post said, we'll have all these races and we'll have 12 cars at every single one. It'll be great. But yeah, definitely some sarcasm there. It's just a little bit disappointing to see. And I don't understand why the asphalt world has such a difficult time working together. It's just sad to see. But there's definitely a better way forward, I think. And hopefully one day we can get to the way it is in your world.
Yeah, I mean, we're fortunate. We're talking our Thunder stocks, on dirt here. It didn't come overnight though. I mean, many years I left those drivers meetings going, why can't we just all get on the same day of page? And now that we are here, I think the strength of it has been good because, the benefits for that would be, and it's not like it hasn't tried. I mean, it's hard to get everybody on the same page, right? Everybody's got their own business to run. Everybody's got their own theories on how to get there and what it takes. And that's tough. And, it does take some strong-willed people to swallow some pride and kind of give more than they take to get there on this level. But I mean, what we've seen on the dirt is, especially I think during COVID, it's really shone the light on that fact that, you could have guys like Steve Shaw going from Buxton down your way all the way to Brighton because it was the race that was having, and he wasn't stuck with a Buxton car or a Brighton race. He could, venture around, do all that. So the dirt having the common rules has been fantastic. The other thing I try to sell it to the guys is the advantage to that is now you're not selling an Oshweekend car. Now you're selling a dirt car that you can sell to a Brighton guy, a Buxton guy, a Merrittville guy. There's just, it increases the pool. So what's been the biggest problem getting everybody there? Is it what I said, just too many strong personalities in the soup?
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, we've made progress in the direction of, we're in the same similar situation where, if I want to sell my super stock, it's an Ontario super stock. It's not a Delaware super stock like it was years ago. It was on its own island, but at least we've made progress there. But I don't know. I feel like we're just going backwards in the sense of it doesn't seem like everyone wants to work together anymore. There's many people at fault, and I'm not gonna start pointing fingers. I got no sword in the fight. It's just as a person with a team who wants to support as much as I can. It's just asphalt racing's expensive, and we got families, and I think this year there's with the invitationals there is and the touring series and Delaware home track and stuff. I think there's like 21 races to choose from. It's just I can't run 21 races, so you have to commit to something. And I'd love to see it to the point where we could just get all the cars out to all the races because the options are targeted. But maybe I'm out to lunch. I'm sure someone's already commented on this video saying I'm out to lunch. But Clinton asked, and that's my answer.
No, I think the problem you have is, we had the Action Sprint Tour out with the crate sprints, right? As soon as that got under 16, and our next guest, Doug Leonard, he was helping me organize and build this whole thing. And I told Doug from day one, minute we get under 3 heats off the dirt, obviously have a different format, but when we can't pull 3 heats of 6 cars, if I can't bring 18 guys, we're no longer a tour. We got to 16 cars at Merrittville, so I got 37 guys at Oshweekend on a Friday, and only 16 want to go to Merrittville the next night. And when that happened the second time in a season, that just showed me, and the series went away, and it hasn't come back. And the drivers who supported it, I feel bad for them guys, but the ones who didn't are still wishing it was here, and that's the problem. If you can't get it together, you're going to see the good things go away. But let's talk about positives. Things have been moving in the right direction a lot of ways down at Delaware, your home track, the past few years. What a resurgence they've had. My only beef with Delaware is its races against head-to-head on Friday, because I've loved my time at Delaware the past 4 or 5 years we've done with the APC. I think it's such a great place to watch a race. Maybe you can help me sell some tickets for the boys down there. Why should someone who's never been to Delaware venture down there?
It's not only just the coolest place, in my opinion. When you walk in, you're on top of the racetrack, the natural amphitheater, just the atmosphere of Delaware is like nothing else. It's just a really cool place to watch a race. But like you said, the fields and everything have been really great. I mean, where else can you see 50 bone stocks on a Friday night? It's a total gong show, and it's sometimes makes for some late nights. But I mean, the super stock fields, we were around 20 cars every night last year, and the V8 stocks, whether you like the bracket breakout style racing or not, it definitely put on some cool shows. And there were some nights when I was sitting there on pit road getting ready for my race, and I'm like, holy smokes, how are they not wrecking? And it's going the right direction. Delaware Speedway is in my opinion the place to race, and I love it. And the car counts hopefully this year are where they've been or even higher. I've heard of some new cars coming out and stuff, so I'm excited. It's a really tricky track to race. A lot of people really don't like Delaware to race it, but it's where I cut my teeth, and it's where I've always called home.
Back to the Super Stock Tour, what track are you looking forward to get to, and which one kind of has you a bit concerned?
I really like Flamborough. I want to get a win at Flamborough. That's one of the ones that I got circled on my calendar for this year. Every time we go there, we run really well, and I think we definitely had a shot at the win there last year on the tour to go back to back after I win at Delaware, and after a late yellow, I just didn't have anything for lanes, so I'm really looking forward to getting back there and maybe picking up some more pole awards because we seem to always qualify well there. And I suck at Sunset, so the fact that it's not on the tour schedule this year didn't hurt my feelings in regards to points racing, but it hurt my feelings in regards to they're hosting a race anyway, so why isn't it part of the tour? But people are going to get mad at me. We'll stop.
It's all right. Not trying to do that. Let's talk about some of your partners who you got helping you out to get to the track this year, Ryan.
Oh, you've opened a can of worms here, buddy. We got 25 partners back so far on our race team for 2025. Douglas Windows and Doors Inc. out of London and the Kitchen area. They've been with us for a long time. In Bingo Country, there are two primary partners. So we released our paint scheme a couple of weeks ago, and she's looking pretty sharp. She's going to be white, matte black, our signature fire gloss blue color, and then we're going with a chrome gold this year. So it's going to be expensive to maintain, but she'll look nice. And we got lots and lots of partners. APC Auto Parts Centers, Andy's Pizza. Look, I'm standing right in front of my pit card. I'm actually prepared. There's Home Revitalize is a new partner for us this year. Epic Racewear does a lot for us. White Motorsports, I'm really thrilled to continue our partnership with White Motorsports. And like I said, watch our pages. Maybe we'll be doing more with White Motorsports this year. And new partner on the car this year, NCA. That's National Compressed Air of Canada. Wix Filters is stepping up for us even more this year, which is awesome. There's so many people that help our program, from Mission Thrift Store to iCoachGoalies.com. There's tons of partners that this car doesn't get to the racetrack without, and I'm very fortunate that we're able to keep racing even through whatever goes on in life or whatever. That this race team is solid.
Did you show up to Motorama?
No, I don't think we're gonna do it this year. We got the same car. It was really cool to unveil that brand new car last year at Motorama and kind of partner up with WMI for a booth. But we don't really have any sort of announcement or anything, and I feel like that's sort of a good place to do those kinds of things. So maybe next year, if we have something bigger and better, we'll make a return to Motorama.
It can make a long weekend for the teams. You guys are loading in your cars. For you guys, like for me, it's an hour drive. I drive back and forth every day, but I got to be there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So if you guys are doing the same thing and you're coming from all the way down there, it gets expensive just to show off your car, right? If you don't have nothing big to reveal at the event. But
and last year we quite literally almost died on the way down there. We hit a patch of black ice with the hauler, and we were looking at the forest, and then we were looking at the guardrail, and then we were looking at the forest. And towing a race car in March isn't my favorite thing.
Yeah, that is not fun. Well, Ryan, I won't keep you no much more. Give us one more plug on where they can go find all your stuff, and we can get a watch of you guys as you get ready to go. And Spencer's got your new car up on the screen there.
Yeah, check out jrdmotorsports.ca. I'd appreciate if everyone gave us a follow on Instagram, Facebook, and subscribed on YouTube. And I think that's probably going to be our best looking car we've ever had. It's like I said, it's going to be a little bit of work to maintain it, but nothing we're not up for. We maintain our stuff mechanically and visually to the highest level. So,
Right on, Ryan. We appreciate you stopping by here today.
I appreciate you having me.
We'll see you this summer. Ryan Dyson out there in the Dayco Superstocks, and you can also catch them weekly at Delaware Speed. Speaking of some of our partners, Epic Racewear has a tent sale going on right now. We'll throw that up if you can, Spencer. So don't forget Epic Racewear, all kinds of great deals. No tax, free shipping, 10 by 10s, 10 by 15, 10 by 20s. Look them up, epicracewear.ca. Tell Dan or Bob you saw it here on Race Rivalz. Not that it does anything for us. They don't care, but it sounds cool to say it. Make us feel good if you do say it. We can jump into my buddy Doug Leonard down, who I don't know whether we're happy he's gone, or he's happy he's gone, or we miss each other. How's it going, Dougie, today?
It's doing well, bud. How are you?
I'm good. Are you fully rejuvenated and ready to go crush it for another 60 or 70 flights in a row?
I think I am, actually. It was been a long off season, but it's been good. And I mean, re-energized the fuel cell and whatnot. I actually started looking at it last week and being like, I'm getting bored. I got to get back into this. So I started actually packing today. Started folding some uniforms and whatnot, getting ready.
How many plane rides do you think you took last summer?
Well, I did 151,000 air miles with American Airlines last year. So
yeah, but we're too stupid to figure that out. So how many times did you go through the boarding?
How many times I fly? Well, we flew we had over 80 races, so I probably flew a good solid 35 weekends.
So 70 times you got on an airplane, probably?
Well, I double that because all of them were connections too. So
I bitched when I had to fly to Edmonton and Saskatoon, and I count down from 12 flights in my NASCAR season, like 8 more flights, and I think Doug's only got 63 more to go.
It was good. I mean, once you get into it, you start to realize the airports that you're frequently seeing and all that stuff, and you get the lay of the land and off and on to the next one, take off and do it again.
Before we bullshit too much, serious business. World Racing Group put out this gambling notice. I don't know if you've seen it when we talked about it earlier. I'm sure you've seen it in your inbox. Throw it up, Spencer. All World Racing Group series rolled out, Sprint Car Series, officials, personnel, drivers, team, crews, official staff, that means you, Doug, are strictly prohibited from placing, soliciting, facilitating any bet or wager with a direct or through third party, surrogate of a World Racing Group event. That's all I need to see of that, Spencer. So, Doug, don't get yourself in trouble. But this is out there publicly. What do you know about it? What have they told you we can talk about?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously another revenue stream for World Racing Group and an opportunity to bring in more viewership, sponsorship, and whatnot to reward back to the teams and the drivers. But with it, it's going to come a lot of rules and regulations. I mean, obviously, we as employees of World Racing Group cannot bet on any of these events. We can't supply any information. We certainly can't be asked any questions and all that stuff. But then it's going to trickle down to even the team. So when we come to Ohsweken Speedway, it's going to affect all of your employees as well. But nobody can bet on these events while we're in town.
What? We're in a different country. We're in a sovereign nation.
Watch when the rules and regulations come out.
No, but okay. So this potential to be huge. I mean, all the other major sports have it going on. We had it at Ohsweken 5 years ago, and it was just getting off the ground. Never ended up getting the fruition we thought. In fact, that's why we had this show, because we originally talked about our betting every week. But does this change the way you officiate races? I already know the answer, but I'm going to ask it. Does this put any extra pressure on your backpack because there could be millions of dollars in bets on the line when you're officiating these races now?
It's not going to change the style of how I officiate a race. It's certainly going to change some of the logistics if you want. There's going to be more communication to the books if you want. I mean, if we have to, for whatever reason, have weather coming in and we have to expedite a show or we're changing the order of events, they need to know. And it may change the odds. It might have to close betting. When we're going on the 8-minute horn, that has to be broadcasted to the books and all that stuff, so they're aware, so they know when to close the bets, etc. So there's going to be some behind the scenes stuff that people might not realize, but it's going to definitely affect what I do.
Yeah, I mean, I think the rule book's going to play an even tighter role, right? Because they're going to go back and say, "How did you do it right to the, how things are written?" It's just,
I mean, it's going to be it's going to be a learning curve for all of us.
Let's talk about last question I got unofficially. Do you know when we're going to see this open? And I don't mean to put this on you because I didn't even prep you for it. I just don't know. Did you hear? Is this a Volusia announcement? Is this a down the line thing?
I believe it's something they do want to start in Volusia and all that stuff. Whether everything's been, the I's have been dotted and the T's are crossed, we haven't been disclosed that information as of yet.
10-4. Let's switch the page. What's the buzz like from the staff and drivers you've talked to about coming back to Oswego?
I mean, I'm certainly excited. It's 15 minutes from my house. I get to sleep in my own bed. I've got a daughter that's already starting to negotiate with me as to whether she can have those 3 days off of school. We're excited. I know the teams and drivers are excited. Our officials are excited to come across. Something that you didn't realize, but even today at 5:00, I've already received our letter from the Canadian government to cross. So we'll make sure it's all good on our end and pass it on to you. So, I mean, I'm certainly excited. I've talked to Raymond at Cornwall. I know he's excited. So it's going to be something different.
Yeah, I think it's going to be wicked to get this going. Look who arrived. Adam.
Yeah.
Welcome
Look at him,
back,
all tan, looking good. How was your trip, bud?
Listen, we only got 1 day of sunshine in Mexico, and I got to give it apologies for being late. There have been some job cuts going on in our industry, so a work event like it used to be, I could slip away unnoticed, and now, man, you got to put in all the time and put in all the effort. Jobs are precious.
Yeah, they are.
See that, Doug? I was going to slam about being 27.5 minutes late, and then he gives me the sob story to start. Why?
Well, I was afraid to ask him if he still has this job. I don't want
he didn't even show up last week. He didn't even show up last week. I had to do the show alone.
Dude, I showed up. I showed up at the pool bar all day long. I was in Mexico with my son Devin for the week, trying to keep up with him, and I cannot.
You're down a few laps?
Absolutely. I was getting the move over flag and everything.
He was lapping the field 2 years ago when I was in Mexico with him, though. Adam's a different guy across a couple of, country lines. Adam,
I've seen him tear it up inside a quick time.
Getting ready for outlaw season coming up. What do you got for Dougie?
What have I got for so much? I was interested. I was here for a little while. I was listening to some of the gambling chat, which was interesting. Doug, as an official, you're a different person. And I don't care if you officiate hockey, soccer, football, racing. When you're an official, you look at things differently. What the hell did the Buffalo Bills have to do to buy a break? Like, it is clear that the deck was stacked against them.
You know what? I got to think about this today, and I don't know if it's the officiating, all that stuff, but Dave Huntsberger and I went out for lunch the other day. Dave told me that he went to a hockey game with his daughter, and he happened to get front row seats to this hockey game. The Leafs are playing the Islanders, and his daughter luckily got a game puck. The referee gave her a game puck. And he said inside the game puck were all these little lights and all that stuff, and they're obviously GPS sensors. You can't tell me that they can't put some kind of GPS sensor in those balls to measure the geometry of the throw or wherever, or especially the GPS to see if that crossed the line at whatever time at that specific play, as you have one line judge giving it a first down and the other one not.
See, Adam, tough. Do you know what he's saying, Adam? They need a fucking finish line. Pardon my French.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, you get me so mad I even dropped the F-bomb. You need a freaking finish line. That's what we're talking about. We need electronic finish lines. No, I don't want to talk about the Bills no more. We go to games. I'm so pissed. I even told Jack, don't talk to me about the Bills till Labor Day of 2025. Man, what a heartbreak. No, seriously though, Adam, we get ready to go. Outlaw season coming up. A ton of work ahead. It's like here, right, Doug? When's your first race?
So our first race is actually a week a week tomorrow. We go February 5th. It's a non-points event. So, but in the past, we had 2 all-star events that they could test and tune basically at Volusia. Last year we did a test and tune. Talking to the platinum teams, they said, hey, that really wasn't beneficial to us. So Carlton Reimers and Brian Carter made an agreement that the first race would be regular pay, but a non-points race. We would give show-up points for the teams that do attend, and then we have Thursday, Friday, Saturday with regular points events. So it's right around the corner.
Doug, does a lot of conversation go on behind the scenes about teams that may shift to the high limit series, to the World of Outlaws? Obviously, nothing is permanent. People can go run one for one season and maybe decide that's not where they want to be and move elsewhere. How much is it talked about in your circles, or is you just try to do the best you can?
I think there's some teams that know ahead of once the season's done, they know where they want to be and whether they be loyal to High Limit or whether they're going to be loyal to the World of Outlaws. There's going to be other teams that are going to kind of weigh both sides. They're going to come to the World of Outlaws and get their package and say, okay, this is what's being offered on the table for us. Go to High Limits and weigh their options. And that's what's happened this year. Especially for myself, I went to PRI for the first time and had some teams come around and ask, what's our package and all that stuff. So certainly inform them of the information I could and set them up with our series director, Carlton Reimers, and he presented the case and said, hey, listen, this is what the World of Outlaws offer, and teams made their decisions. Right now, we're sitting at 14 platinum teams with 6 rookies. So this year it's going to be, it's going to be a hell of a battle both ways, points-wise for the championship and also for that Rookie of the Year.
Doug, as you get into it, Volusia, the weather can be anything, right? Cold, hot. How does that change things for you guys? You never know what's coming. It can be tough, right?
It's a great event. The atmosphere is amazing. You're getting people in from Daytona. You're getting the snowbirds coming down. I hate packing for them. It's probably the biggest suitcase I take because I don't know what it's going to be like. It's going to be hot during the day, but it's going to get it all at night. It's freezing. So we had some of our officials down last week for Sunshine with the late models, and they were, we should have brought our snowmobile suits. I did look at the weather today. It looks like it's going to be in that mid to upper 70s during the day, but at nighttime it certainly gets cold. But you're right. You never know. When the ocean's so close by, it could be rainy one day, or it says it's going to rain, and sure enough, it rains all day. But the weather does look good, so hopefully we can get all 4 events in.
And for people who haven't been, a cold Florida night feels colder than any night I've ever spent at Super Dirt Week or Flamborough, or a cold night in Florida goes right to your bones. It is wild.
I agree. You can wear your toques, or as my American friends, their beanies and their winter hats, and you can wear the best winter jacket you've got, but you're right. It goes right to your bones and you feel it.
Right on, Dougie. We won't keep you no more unless Adam's got something for you. But tell Harper Uncle Clint says the whole week off, no problem.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you're a terrible father. You know that? No. You'd be a shitty dad if you don't give her those days off.
Wow.
Come on, Adam, pile on.
I was trying to tell her.
She doesn't even like me. So I'm trying to politic for her.
No, listen. She likes you because now she doesn't like Brian Danica because he owes her $100 and he won't pay her. So you're on her good bucks. But I'm trying to negotiate with her. Like, she has to be a good girl to get that week off.
I just have a rebuttal to that. I owe Brian Danica 4 lunches. Do you know where I owe them? At the Burger Prime. No. So I might be off the hook for those lunches with Brian Danica.
Yeah, that was certainly horrible news. I reached out to Jason yesterday and certainly passed on my well wishes and thinking about him and the family right now.
Right on, Dougie. All right, you stay safe, bud. Stay warm, and we'll talk to you soon. And We'll see you before you know it.
Yeah, reach out, guys, and hopefully we'll see you guys in May.
Sounds good. See you, Doug.
Doug's hoping he doesn't have to be on the show before May, because then that means something happened we had to talk about, and it seems so. I got to bug him a bit. Thanks, Doug, for stopping by. Hey, Link says let's start.
If you think about it,
vote for Harper.
How can you not be so proud of the people, Clinton, that we grew up with? Hell, the cleanup crew at Cayuga Speedway is now the race director for the World of Outlaws, the race director for Oswego Speedway, because Dave Hunsinger was on that same crew, right? To run the gamut. We've all had a lot of fun.
We've been around too long. That's what's going on here. How about a couple more Burger Barn videos of the week? Go ahead, Adam. If you got something to throw in, please add.
Yeah. I got a little bit more recapping to do from my trip. Our flight was at 6 a.m. We had to leave for the airport at 2:30 a.m. And so we get there, and Devin and I go to the bar to get I didn't want a drink. I just wanted a bottle of water. The people ahead of us at 4:30 in the morning ordered 3 Caesars for $72.
Oh.
At the Hamilton Airport, 3 Caesars. So I get my bottle of water and I go sit down. We're ready to go. And then I see a familiar face walking up. It's Doug Erskine's wife, Valerie. She was going to be on the same flight heading down to Mexico. And she says, "Don't put up with Clinton's crap." She says, "That is a great hat." Do you know what was lost in Mexico?
Your stupid hat.
My stupid hat.
Your Crocodile Dundee hat.
No, you get it down there in the humidity, it straightens right out. It's mint. I got a little bit drunk one day and forgot.
There wasn't even any sun down there. You didn't even need a hat. You needed a beanie. Oh boy.
That looks like Gilligan right there. Nicely done, Spencer.
I know you're drunk because you probably sent that to Spencer when you had a few and been like, "Oh, look at me," not realizing you looked like a dope on the show.
I think that was me on the show last week.
Okay. See, I didn't. That's how much I pay attention when you're around or not around.
My God, you sculpted your hair tonight.
No, I just got it cut for a change.
No,
it was
perfection.
2 weeks ago. Well, when you don't have any, it's not hard to get 3 out of place,
There's not a single hair out of place. That's Lego hair.
If you combed yours, you'd have the same look.
I could.
All right. We still have a bunch of Burger Barn videos of the week to get through. We want to talk about NASCAR dropping their rookie stripes. Who owns the sponsor? Now, this is a spirited battle you and I could easily get into. And how much would you pay? So where do you want to go? How much would you pay? NASCAR rookie stripes? Who owns the sponsor? Or Burger Barn videos of the week?
I really like the thought of this who owns the sponsor topic, not knowing where it's going to go.
All right. Who owns the sponsor? So, I always hear teams upset about so-and-so talk to this guy, so-and-so talk to that guy. Hear it from race teams saying, "Oh, the track's out to steal my sponsors." They make it seem like we're, standing at the gate taking down names. "Oh, he's got that guy on there." And first off, the track wants everybody to do good. I think I'd love to go head-to-head with anybody who says we've taken a sponsor, because we also see sponsors of the racetrack all over race teams that never had those people before. We're not out bitching about it. So I ask you, Adam, who owns the sponsor? If I talk to him first, do I own them forever? If a sponsor approaches me and says, "Hey, show me your package too," am I supposed to say, "Well, wait a minute, you're Adam's sponsor"? Where's the etiquette there? And who owns the sponsor?
Do you want the popular answer or the honest answer, Clinton?
I want them both.
All right. The popular answer is whoever has the relationship first really has sort of grandfather rights, like Mike Thorne and the Burger Barn, right? That's kind of the initial deal. Lots of people came and went. That deal remains. But the truth is, you have to continue to earn a sponsor. Once a sponsorship is set up, you have to keep working at it. And I'll use Gary Elliott as an example with Quaker State. That is not a gift he gets. He works his ass off for that deal year in and year out. So if someone were to call and actually get to the right person with Quaker State to have a conversation, I think Quaker State would say, you know what? We've got Gary Elliott who represents us very, very well. Either show me something that he doesn't, maybe it doesn't conflict. But I think there is some onus back on the sponsor and the driver or the track or whoever has that relationship to work hard enough that whether someone calls the track or someone calls the sponsor, they would both agree, yeah, that's our deal. Yeah, like you've got people. Let's use Insta Insulation because you've got a great relationship with Alex Schutz. I don't think Alex would do anything to circumvent you. If someone went to him looking for a deal, he'd say, you know what, we do a lot of work with Clinton. We do some work at the track. There might be room for more, but you would have that conscience. So it's kind of a long, drawn-out answer, but the reason you have that relationship is because you continue to work that deal on an ongoing basis, just like Mike Morris does, continues to work those deals on an ongoing basis. So you have to forge a relationship. You have to maintain that relationship. And then you have nothing to worry about. Don't take advantage of a sponsorship. Just make sure you're pulling your weight.
Yeah, I don't disagree. And I think if you're doing the best deal you can for the sponsor, you probably shouldn't have any of those concerns. Now, you and I are buddies, and I know you're with XYZ company. Yeah, is it dirty pool for me to slide in there and slide a proposal in? Probably it is, yes. But if XYZ company comes to me and says, hey, what can you do for me? Am I supposed to say, no, you're Adam's guy. I don't want to do business with you. It's such a slippery slope. And I mean, we see it all the time on both sides of the fence. And I mean, you and I have had deals on here that we announced a partner that we signed that day. The next night or the next morning, I'm getting people saying, hey, can I get that guy's email address? And I'm like, man, we didn't even get our check yet. And you're already trying to get the number from us. So there's so many ways to go about it. But I hear so many people say, oh, so-and-so took somebody's sponsor or that. And it just made me think, well, who really owns the sponsor? It's like, I guess it's kind of like a relationship. If you could steal my girlfriend, was she really my girlfriend to begin with? Like if you can steal my sponsor and take my deal away, did I ever really have a deal that was valued on either side? I guess I didn't, And you look at guys like, I don't know, there's teams out there that do work really hard and others that don't. So, it's just a question I had. I don't think I got the answer I wanted, but
it's a fair one. But the other thing, I use a different expression than my dad used to use. My dad used to use reality is a perceived notion. I prefer perception is reality. So if it's easier to see something and say, yeah, they tried to scoop my sponsor, or the track's trying to come in and mow my grass. That's how they perceive that to be. Not really. You're selling apples and oranges, completely different things. In a fair market, you've got to explore all the opportunities. But does that make any sense? Like, really, if people think you're doing something or they want to see it a certain way, it's pretty easy to see it however they choose to see it. And it's way easier to have sour grapes than it is to...
Yeah, like I see partners of the tracks showing up on race teams. Well, they're still partners of the track, or they moved on. I don't bitch about that. You know what I mean? Like, for example, Lone Wolf Fireworks have been a long time supporter. They've done our fireworks for as long as I can remember. They're all over Acton cars with Corey Turner this year. I'm not bitching about that. I'm like, hey, man, good on those guys. They went out and made a pitch to Jonathan. Jonathan obviously liked what they were selling. It didn't affect our deal at the Speedway. It works out for everybody. I mean, so there are instances where, hey, if you can get a better sale and make a better deal. But I will tell you, it does piss me off when people act like the Speedway's out taking their deals, because that's have some balls and call me, and I'll tell you. Now I can tell you an instance where it came up 2 years ago. A guy said, "Oh, you guys are over my thing," and then we see an ad show up on G-Force 2 weeks later, and I said, "Well, when were we over at your pits talking?" And 2 weeks ago. Well, I was able to show him 5 months ago. We had an ad with this contract. I'm like, so there you go. It's exactly what you said. Perception is way out of whack, sometimes. So if you don't know, pick up the phone. We can talk. But
I want to comment on Mike's point about rink boards and advertising on NHL games, and they're two separate sales, Mike, but they're valued appropriately. In fact, I'm at our Cal Tire annual general meetings this week in Toronto, and our deal with the NHL came up, and we are the official tire expert of the NHL, but we're also the official tire. Even though we don't make tires, we're the official tire because they didn't want another company to get in that we don't represent because it would just look poor. So to answer your question, a lot of those deals, they aren't sold to be read as advertisements. So if you see Cal Tire on the rink boards, it doesn't necessarily mean the announcer has to talk about Cal Tire or that you're going to see a Cal Tire commercial, but you might. Those are all sold separately and they're all valued separately. So it's pretty slick process, and it's very calculated, and people know exactly what they're getting. And that's Link. That's another thing. There's another Bob Ross special. Just cut it into 4 slices. I don't think I could eat 10.
All right. NASCAR dropped the rookie stripes, Adam. They've taken away the program now. Traditionally, we've seen the rookies peel the stripe off their car as a rite of passage. NASCAR has dropped that. Any thoughts on that across all of their platforms?
Not really. There's so much information out there now, and spotters, and they know everything about everybody that you're racing with. And Bowman Gray Stadium, Burt Myers and Tim Brown are going to be racing in the Cup Series. I don't need those guys to have rookie stripes when they go out there and battle at Bowman Gray. I think that's really, really cool that they're both going to be competing in that race.
Yeah, Bowman Gray's always been a kind of an anomaly to me. I still don't know if they're sporting entertainment because I swear half that shit's set up. But if you ask Gary here, I wear a tinfoil hat most of the days anyways, thinking the world's ending. So
I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying it isn't. But even if it is, do you disapprove?
Yeah, because I think let's equate it to something I'm in. I love music. So if I'm going to see a band and I think they're playing live, I'm okay with that. If I'm going and they're advertised that they're playing live, but they're lip syncing and miming up there, I think I want to know. Okay, I'm okay either way as long as I know. But don't pretend it's one thing and then it be another, because that kind of pisses me off. And you know what?
That's a good point.
Speaking of the refs and what you guys were talking about earlier with Doug there, when it comes down to the refs, oh shit, I just lost my train of thought. But with the refs and how they work this whole deal out, like, how can we not have the electronic stuff like they had talked about there? It's crazy.
I didn't understand why they weren't showing cameras that were right on the line or direct. They were showing some peculiar angles. And I don't think there's a conspiracy theory going. It would be very, very hard.
Here's where I was going with that. So Bill Burr, the comedian, was on there talking today with Rich Eisen, one of the NFL commentators, and they were kind of bullshitting back and forth. And he was saying that the NFL is not a sports league; it's an entertainment league. And the reason they have started calling themselves that, because if something was found to be fixed, they could say, yeah, because we're not a sport, we are entertainment. Play on words. I thought that was tricky, if true.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
I didn't want to get Doug wound up, but man, this betting is serious shit. And some of the comments I was reading today on like the Hard Clay Open, talking about shit being fixed, and man, oh man, it could be crazy. Could be crazy for sure.
Yeah.
We still have some Burger Barn videos of the week to get through, of course. If you didn't hear news, Burger Barn had a colossal fire, let's say. Nobody passed away. A colossal fire, and I don't know if you heard Adam today. I drove past it on the way out. It was the inspectors were there looking, and on the way back, they had it half torn down already. So it's going down. How much would you pay? So, I had a former racer from Mosh Weekend message me today and say, hey, you had an idea, because I had this idea a while ago, to do what Mario Andretti does with the two-seater at the IndyCar races. So I was thinking, what if we started the two-seaters at the back of the races, and on their own one-way radio with their own spotter that could say, hey, the field's coming up on you, you clear the pits or clear the infield. Not to be in the way, but to give that fan the experience to strap in, start the race, get out there and actually be racing with our teams. I just thought for the feature. Then the pitch, I just thought we'd take a lucky fan out. Then the pitch came today to sell it. And they were talking about crazy amounts of money I don't think we could use. But it made me think, how much would you pay to ride in the back of a two-seater sprint car with the crate or 360 starting field on a Friday night at Osheweek Speedway? And we might even be able to give you hot laps, the heat race, and the feature. Well, what do you think the dollar value could be on that, Adam? Or viewers, what would you pay for that experience?
That's a tough call. Like, the first number that popped in my mind was $500.
That's where I'm.
But that's not enough. That's just the. Oh, it's definitely an insurance risk, Fran.
How is it? How is it though? Okay, I sign the insurance papers every year for the Speedway. How is that any different than me buying my own race car and coming out?
Well, again, it's perception, because it's a car that's not quite the same as all the rest of the cars. So if something happens and there's a problem, it could be argued, okay, that there hasn't been enough attention paid to how these cars were built and how they conform to rules, because there are no rules for them.
Okay.
And I'm just spitballing.
I get it, but those are all challenges I'm ready to battle. Okay, so let's talk about money. $500 seems where it is. $1,000 just seems a bit too much for me. But I don't know.
But why not? Well, why not do it? Why not do it in a class like a Thunderstock where the car could actually be competitive?
Well, that's an option too. I'm not just saying. I'm just saying it was pitched to me with the two-seaters because we have the two-seaters, and my original idea was just let someone start a few races at the back. I think that'd be super cool to line up, maybe get, if you're in the middle of the four wide, in the back of the two-seater. And the idea was, you would have to, that car would pull off if the field started to get on the back of it or whatever. And it was basically just a ride at the back. Well, this driver pitched me today and got super pissed at me because he wants to race. He's like, no, if I can pass guys, you should let us pass them in the two-seater. And I'm like, I don't know about that. I don't feel good about the two-seater in the middle of the field. Riding at the back's all right, but I don't know. What you think?
I think it's a cool idea. I think it's outside the box, and which, as you know, I love it. It's scary, but that's pretty cool too.
So I don't know what's scarier: riding in the back of the two-seat sprint car, in like bobsled style, one in front of the other, or strapping up in the passenger seat of a Camaro while Big Dog or Bailey scrape that back wall and you're like right up against it. I think that'd be way more scarier to be in the Thunderstock with all those cars around 4-6 wide. Oh man, that sounds. Do you remember Kurt Stiers used to have a two-seater? And we used to play with it after the races. Really? Right when we started, one of the old Camaros had a second seat in the passenger side.
Wow.
We could put it in the back and chauffeur them around. But I think I don't know, something to be thought of.
Mark, they're definitely not as maneuverable as a standard wheelbase car. Like they're definitely a little bit clunkier when it comes to the sprint car. And they don't speed up the same. They don't slow down the same. They don't turn the same.
All right. Well, oh yeah. Early Bomber Days, Fran says the 70s used to have a car a fan could compete in. They draw for a lucky fan to compete in for one a night. Someone else was telling me that. Dad says we should raffle off a ride too. So I don't know. I think it could be interesting. Yeah, get like Schrader or Stiers out there. Now, you want to talk about liability. Stiers cannot drive this damn car. He'd be the wildest one of them all. Right?
With the most to lose.
if I had to pick who I would drive around Ohsweken with in a two-seater or anything, even a streetcar for that matter, Glenn is way on the last on my list. He just don't give a shit. And you don't give a shit what he wrecks. And the more you pee your pants and scream, the faster he's going to go. So, yeah, I'm up for that. I don't know. Something to talk about. You guys let us know what you think. All right. We almost made it through the hour. Let's look at some Burger Barn videos of the week and see what catches our eye today. This is Thomas Meserol, T-Mez, Johnny Longboat's buddy, with his sprint car dyno. I love this. That's pretty cool. What do you think about that? I love it. Can start it and get it rolling and everything. Like, that is such a cool thing. Show that one more time, Spence.
I was fascinated by the ratchet straps holding it down and holding it back.
What I love is that big left rear tire. Okay? So in order to keep it from bucking off, they got to put the same size tires on, and it's got a right rear tire. On the left side, just look at the size of this thing. Like, that is something you don't see on that side of the sprint cars, ever.
Oh, you're right. That's cool.
All right. What else we got, Spence? Okay, so stop here. So this is Dad, right? So Dad's thinking, this is great. So proud. Got little Junior his first motorcycle. Let her go, bud. Show it again. Like it's some straight out of a cartoon. Just look at the fence. It's obliterated.
The only thing that would have made it better is if it was obliterated in the exact shape of a kid on a motorbike.
It looked like all grandma, everybody's around the whole neighborhood to watch him. Well, I'm going to hell for laughing, but man, that is awesome. Should have showed him how to turn on the brakes. What else we got? Okay, so James McFadden does a shoey. Trying to take a shot out of his shoe. Whoa, first wipe out. Oh, second wipe out. Oh, that's gotta hurt.
Oh.
I think I had it from the other angle too, Spencer. I don't know if you got both, but that's not the smoothest wing dance we've seen. That's why you can't take your shoe off, bud. You need the traction. Socks aren't going to stay up there. We all know that. All right, what else you got, Spence? Another one from they're risking their lives. Look where these people are standing at him. Like, one little slip up, and they're all dead. All those people stand. I'm just amazed how they... Like, we worry about two-seaters in a cage, and where are the rally car insurance? They just totally don't give an F.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Have you ever seen a rally car without people standing down the side of every turn? It's just...
No. I mean, there's miles and miles. There's countless miles where there's no people at the side of the road, but you don't see those videos.
No, they don't stand on the straights. They stand right in the turns. Which is ridiculous. All right, keep them coming. Okay. Watch this guy right here. Oh! The officials are pissed. Watch. So, this guy, instead of doing the double at the end, he actually clears the whole archway. Watch this.
Well, why are they pissed? Like, clearly there's a landing set up for it.
Didn't you see the flag was like, what the F, man? Oh, that was great. All right, what else now?
Of 35.
Oh, this was Mazda MX-5 Cup. Did you see this?
Yeah,
this was,
I really enjoyed
Saturday.
watching this. I enjoyed watching some of the cars able to weave their way through this wreck. Watch one. One just about drops the anchor. And I don't know how many views we have of it. I've seen a number of views, but there's one car right behind the wreck, and he slows way down. Probably 8 cars pass him, and he's able to slow down and just tiptoe through the wreckage.
Like, think of this. These guys been working on these cars since, like, November to make them race ready and perfect for Daytona. Didn't even get to turn one before they wrecked like 30.
Jeff Gottler was spotting for one of those teams. Wound up finishing 5th or 6th in that race.
And think about that as a spotter. What do you say then? Like, you're 20th in that pack. Like, just go home.
Well, from what I gather, Spencer, show it again. He cleared his driver down to the grass. That's where he sent his driver. So have a look. Let's see who's able to go down to the grass. They're involved, but not so much that they couldn't continue. So watch for someone. It'll be from the middle back. So the wreck's going on.
Maybe that green car that just turned left, right?
That could be. Although things might not end well for that green car.
Well, I think they're gonna, because he went left. Ooh, maybe not.
Quick.
No, didn't end well.
Oh, that little black car. Show that again, Spencer. I think that black car was the one I was talking about that just about stopped while others piled into the wreck.
Wild. Heartbreak for everybody at Daytona after all that work. What else?
When Henry Ford won his first race, predicted to be last. Nobody knows who he is. There's this guy who's like the hero of the time. His name's Alexander Winton. And this guy is such a favorite that the guy putting on the race, the promoter for the race, calls him. It says, hey, I got to make a trophy for this race. You're probably going to win it. What do you want the trophy to be? Goes to his wife and says, hey, honey, what do you want the trophy to be? She goes, I want a nice crystal punch bowl set. Calls the promoter. Yep, that'll be the trophy. Goes to run the race. Henry Ford wins the race. So that punch bowl set sat in his house until the day he and his wife passed away. Like, they went through his house, they got rid of the punch bowl set. Winning that race funded Ford Motor Company. Nobody knows where the trophy is.
Still to this day.
To this day. This thing would be worth more than the Stanley Cup. So if you are like one of these scavenger people, the Ford family has been looking for this trophy for decades.
That's kind of a neat story. Think about that. It could be worth as much as the Stanley Cup, and someone's Aunt Betty serving punch out of it once a year at Christmas, you know?
That's hilarious. Great.
Cool. How many more we got?
Like that.
One more. Oh. Again, just bad planning. Look at all the poles there. Like, I know you think you're going to come off straight, but somebody's got to think, what if, bro? Oh. Damn, that was... You need to reshuffle those, man, just so we can end on a happy note. Like, at least the kid crashing through the fence would have been a better end to the show.
Yeah, for sure.
I won't say it often, but it's good. Yeah, okay, there we go. I'll watch this one 100 times. This was definitely, for me, the true definition of laugh out loud every time I see this. Just the sound it makes and everything. And then Auntie, you know, that needs to go, that video and the one where Grandpa just the dad tackles the kid off the bike at that size at full speed are like the two best ones we've had so far. I just love them. If you got anything you want us to show, feel free to send along. Quick mention, the AI video we started the show with, Mark DeSilva sent that along and said, can you imagine that, having that coaching you 6 wide, 4 wide with the mini stocks that are tweaking on the dirt? I'd like to see what the AI driver has to say about that. But you made it. Thanks, everybody, for sticking around, staying up an extra hour late for Adam tonight. He appreciates it.
Yeah, sorry about that, and I was still late, but it was important to me that I get here. I mean, I don't like missing 1 week, let alone 2. But yeah, my job's important to me.
All good, bud. We appreciate you making it out. Glad you made it back safe from your vacation. Spencer, appreciate everything you do as well. Thank you, everybody, for sticking around. Next week, we show 255. We'll keep at it. Thanks so much. We'll see you next week. Stay safe. Racing season's on the way. Volusia kicks off this week.